So in all of the off-season of The Flash, a lot of the fandom have been excited and have been anticipating the upcoming season, which will see our Barry Allen launched into Crisis on Infinite Earths, an event which has been ticking away ever since The Flash's debut, as well as many new additions and interesting things to come in Season 6. But also for as many fans that are excited for Season 6, there have been many waiting apprehensively for the new season, since there are still concerns and worries to a lot of fans due to the various critique of previous seasons still perhaps making their way into the upcoming season. So I thought it would be kind of cool to do a video of reasons why you should be excited for the upcoming season of The Flash, regardless of if you already land on the side of being excited or if you're already on the other end and you're not excited and I'm not gonna believe it until I see it kind of thing, then fair enough. But hopefully at the bottom line, this video will get you pumped for the season to come for these very reasons. But before we get into reason number one, guys, if you do go on to enjoy this Flash video, go ahead and leave it a like. Also, join my Discord server. It will be linked in the top pinned comment of the comment section down below. But other than that, guys, let's get into this and subscribe if you're brand new. So reason number one, we have a new showrunner. Now, I'm not going to try and put a stain on everything Todd Helbing has done in previous seasons, but the fact remains, for better or for even worse, that we are getting a new showrunner, that is Eric Wallace, and it will both inevitably, I feel, breathe new life into the show, which in my opinion is a very needed thing. Regardless of if you really are a fan of what The Flash has done in previous years, I think it's safe to say that it is and has been open to a bunch of criticism from season 3 to season 4 and 5 for various reasons. Now that isn't really what this video is about, but I just wanted to start off this video with a solid reason for why you should be excited for this upcoming season. I mean, sure, we're going to more than likely have a CW formulaic experience with The Flash season 6, but that's also what we had in season 1 and season 2, and those were the most popular seasons. So I think we have to look forward to what Eric Wallace can do to fix the stale elements of the recent seasons and implement that into his first season on the show, and I have a lot of faith that he is going to do that. I mean, I'm already liking what I've heard from him and what is to come in The Flash season 6. So number 2 is that we are truly getting 2 villains this season. Now this season, as you've probably heard a bunch of times, is being likened to that of 2 graphic novels, which sounds very exciting to a fan such as myself who wishes that the CW, in my opinion, just had less episodes to make the main plot of the season surrounding the antagonists seem a lot more engaging. And I just say this because a lot of filler seems to drag it out quite a bit, which the CW is usually fairly criticized for, and usually no matter how decent the villain can be, putting him amongst 22 or even 23 episodes can diminish their presence a bit, at least for me. So the reason why I mention it like this is because I very distinctly remember Todd Helbing discussing having 2 villains himself for The Flash season 5 through saying, we know that in 22, 23 episodes how boring one villain can be. Except even though technically sure, you could say that was the case with Orland Dwyer being one and Grace the other, it wasn't really 2 separate exciting villains. But this time apparently we really are getting precisely that, 2 actual separate villains in one season. Now obviously the upcoming seasons for most of the core shows will have profound effects as a result of the big Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, and the second half of The Flash season 6's villain could be a result of that. But regardless of how the second big bad comes about, the idea of having 2 big bads makes the season feel a lot more condensed to me. Even with there being the same amount of episodes, Team Flash and Barry Allen will still have these 2 very threatening stories, whereas usually we have 1, which admittedly, no matter what I've liked about previous seasons, sometimes it does drag out. But nope, as of the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, everyone saddle up and strap yourselves in for essentially another season of The Flash with an entirely new villain. So number 3 for me is that the show is getting darker. Now somewhat recently, both Grant Gustin and Carlos Valdez has teased that the show this year is going to be a lot more real and growing up a bit as the fandom sort of grows up as well. Going on to say that with the maturity comes some more difficult backstories and characters. This season has a lot more of an adult tone. Grant even says that he can feel it getting darker, but they are still the Flash that you know and love. Now I think this makes sense, just given the gravity of Crisis, it can kind of automatically set the tone for this season to be a bit darker and a little bit less quirkier than previous seasons, just due to the nature of the scenario everyone is catapulted into more or less from the very beginning episode episode of the season. I mean, we know that Barry thinks he will go on to die in Crisis, as he is told exactly that from the Monitor in the first episode. And even then, after the crossover, Eric Wallace is teased that there will be some very intense times for Barry and Iris due to the fallout of the crossover. And I just think that what Grant Gustin and Carlos said matches the inevitable mood and tone that comes with this season and where we're at in these characters' lives. One of the best ways I feel like I can put this is that it just wouldn't fit to do a Flash season 4 tone with the Flash season 6 and everything that's going on with the story. And personally for me, I just love this. I prefer darker tones of the Flash, such as season 2 and season 3, even though some people think maybe season 3 was a bit too dark. I just feel like that's what fits the show the best, is just kind of a nice blend between them both. Number 4, guys, is character development. I mean, I think this season seems to be diving deeper into characters which fans have felt have been lacking some development in the previous seasons and are finally getting a bit more emphasis on what should have been brought to them a lot sooner. I mean, for example, one being unavoidable is that Iris is getting a lot more of her reporter role this season with employees, and I say this is unavoidable due to the fact that she writes the Flash Goes Missing in Crisis article in 2019, so they kind of have to move that along quite a bit. But there are also other characters such as exploring Ralph and his future love Sue, which is happening this season, and we have a lot more to look forward to with Killer Frost and exploring Killer Frost's humanity. And as teased by Carlos in my previous point, we are just getting even more difficult backstories explored. Now, one of the big ones for fans certainly is a lot more Barry Allen, since this is his very own show, but due to the nature that surrounds this season, I don't see how we won't be satisfied, as Crisis on Infinite Earths and the Flash season 6 makes Barry Allen within itself a very heavily focused on character this season, which of course is something that should always be the case and never benched like it kind of has quite a bit in previous seasons. And lastly, guys, number 5 is that quite simply the Flash seems to be finding its footing again. So with season 6, amongst all of the aforementioned points, we also have a kick-ass new suit, which is arguably the best Flash suit to date on the show. Now I know there are still criticisms and people want full golden yellow boots, but at least we don't have a helmet anymore and we have gold lining throughout the suit, and it just looks kick-ass. Killer Frost is getting a new and fairly comic book accurate suit, but I want to speak on a more broader term than just new suits, and how that the Flash seems to be finding its best footing with how it seems to be lining up to be the potentially best season yet in recent years. I mean, this season has many exciting aspects to it because everything for the characters is turned upside down because of Crisis, and this will provoke very interesting reactions and concerns leading up to that event. But even outside the crossover, all of the characters are in an interesting place as of last season, leaving fans with much to look forward to going into the new season. Now also everyone, last minute addition to this video, I just wanted to add this here for any of you who got to this point, and that's because I never thought I'd honestly see this again, even though we know Tom Welling is going to be in the Crisis crossover, but just, you know, seeing this photo is really strange on screen, and yes, you've probably already seen it appear now, and that is Tom Welling's Clark Kent with his Lois Lane around a decade later. I mean, apparently that's not mega clear right now as to like how long this is after Smallville, whether it's 10 years, whether it's like something like 8 years, but either way, it's just also just so weird to see Tom Welling in his Clark Kent attire again this many years later. I mean, he looks pretty good. I didn't think he would look exactly the same, not saying that he's aged loads or anything like that, but I didn't know if he could pull off the young-ish Clark Kent look, you know, after seeing him on Lucifer and stuff, looking quite a bit different, but obviously the same because it's the same person. But either way, guys, just thought I'd chuck this in here. You may as well chuck your thoughts in the comments down below with this as well, just because Crisis on Infinite Earths is now in production and we're going to be getting a lot more of this. But that is it for this video, guys. It was just a little kind of fun video to make about the upcoming season of The Flash and why I'm excited for it, fairly obviously. But what I want to hear about from you guys down in the comments below is what are you most excited about for The Flash Season 6? I mean, do you agree with what I had to say and my reasons for why we should be excited, whether that's the new showrunner and just everything else? Maybe I didn't list a reason as one of my 5 reasons that you felt like should have been in there. So definitely let me know everything you thought. If you want to talk about The Flash further with me, you can join my Discord server, which I'll leave in the top pinned comment. I love talking about The Flash with you guys there and all kinds of other comic book stuff. A lot of you have joined already and it's great to see you there. Follow me on social media, my Instagram and Twitter and everything like that will be in my description box below the video, as well as my Patreon where you can support me a bit further. Check out my last couple of videos here. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure they'll catch your interest if you haven't seen them already. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you speedsters in the next video. Goodbye.